Hello, Leo, and welcome to Ultra Instinct Tarot. My name is Andres, and I'll be the one taking care of you for this reading. As always, I will be receiving the help from these three homies. 10 out of 10 would recommend, especially together, because I think they fill out the circle pretty well. This one's more feminine, this one's more masculine, and then this one's right in the middle. And they're all the same, talking about the same thing. So, stop clinging to the past, Leo. We got the 5 of Cups. Cups is of the emotion, so we're in the emotion tree of life. 5 is the sphere of strength, where strength is learned. The only way strength is learned is through conflict. And the conflict is going on in the emotions. There's a clinging to the past here. 5 of Cups. 5 of Water. The figure pictured in this card is so preoccupied with clutching her box of memories that she has turned her back on the sparkling champagne glass of blessings available here and now. Her nostalgia for the past really makes her a blockhead, and a beggar besides, as we can see from her patched and ragged clothes. She needn't be a beggar, of course, but she is not available to taste the pleasures that offer themselves in the present. It's time to face up to the fact that the past is gone, and any effort to repeat it is a sure way to stay stuck in old blueprints that you would have already outgrown if you hadn't been so busy clinging to what you have already been through. Take a deep breath, put the box down, tie it up in a pretty ribbon if you must, and bid it a fond and reverent farewell. Life is passing you by, and you're in danger of becoming an old fossil before your time. These tenses, past, present, and future, are not the tenses of time. They are the tenses of the mind. That which is no longer before the mind becomes the past. That which is before the mind is the present. And that which is going to be before the mind is the future. Whoa. I got something stuck in my throat. With future hum. So, are we afraid of the future, Leo? Past is that which is no longer before you. Future is that which is not yet before you. And present is that which is before you and is slipping out of your sight. Soon it will be past. If you don't cling to the past, because clinging to the past is absolutely stupidity. It is no longer there, so you're crying for spilled milk. What is gone is gone. And don't cling to the present, because that is also going, and soon it will be past. Don't cling to the future, hopes, imaginations, plans for tomorrow, because tomorrow will become today, will become yesterday. Everything is going to become yesterday. Everything is going to go out of your hands. Clinging will simply create misery. You will have to let go. This reminds me of in Mexico, in Spanish, there's a saying and like a sign that some businesses even have out front that says, today we won't loan, but tomorrow we will. So like if you don't have money, you just tell them, hey, can I just take this thing and I'll pay you back tomorrow. So they said, we won't loan out today, but tomorrow we will. So then tomorrow you go back and it's the same sign. Today we won't loan, but tomorrow we will. And it's again today, so they don't loan out again. So you're like, oh, tomorrow they're going to though. So you go back tomorrow, and again it's today. And again, they're not going to loan you out. And then you feel like that. If you just keep doing it over and over. Beyond Illusion, number 20. That feels closed, that feels open. illusion. Yeah, this looks like what the caterpillar is going through in his, what is it called? Chrysalis? In his chrysalis. And that's, imagine how it would feel after all of that. The butterfly in this card represents the outer, that which is constantly moving and that which is not real, but an illusion. Behind the butterfly is the face of consciousness, looking inward to that which is eternal. The space between the two eyes has opened, revealing the lotus of spiritual unfoldment and the rising sun of awareness. Through the rising of the inner sun, meditation is born. The card reminds us not to look outside for what is real, but to look within. Interesting. When we focus on externals, we too often get caught up in judgments. This is good, this is bad, I want this, I don't want that. These judgments keep us trapped in our illusions, our sleepiness, our old habits and patterns. Drop your opinionated mind and move inside. There you can relax into your own deepest truth, where the difference between dreams and reality is already known. This is the only distinction between the dream and the real. Reality allows you to doubt, and the dream does not allow you to doubt. To me, the capacity to doubt is one of the greatest blessings to humanity. The religions have been enemies because they have been cutting the very roots of doubt, and there's a reason why they have been doing that, because they want people to believe in certain illusions that they have been preaching. Why have the people like Gautama Buddha been so insistent that the whole existence, except your witnessing self, except your awareness, is just ephemeral, made of the same stuff as dreams are made of? They are not saying that these trees are not there. They are not saying that these pillars are not there. Don't misunderstand because of the word illusion has been translated as illusion, but illusion is not the right word. Illusion does not exist. Reality exists. Maya is just in between. It almost exists. As far as day-to-day activities are concerned, it can be taken as reality. Only in the ultimate sense, from the peak of your illumination, it becomes unreal, illusory. It's like the internet. Like when you get on the computer, you see, go to all these websites and stuff, but like, can you physically go to them? You know, where are they? They're there, they exist, you know, but they're not like a physical place to go to. You just go to them in your computer. This also, I think, is saying that everything kind of changes and disarranges itself. So that's why it's like saying that the actor, you know, that character doesn't exist. It technically doesn't exist, you know, because there's an actor playing that character. That's what that real character technically did, but it does exist technically as well, you know. Interesting. 3. The Empress. This looks, it's like similar energy, and this is another major arcana. Not a minor arcana, so that's important. The Empress is about creativity, abundance, nature, fertility, feminine energy, nurturing. More water. All this feels like water. So all of this is happening in the emotions. Creativity comes from emotions. The Empress is the embodiment of the divine feminine energy that is deeply creative, expressive, and sensual. She is tied to the earthly realm and the delights of the senses, with an innate connection to the natural world. Her state of abundance is coupled with maternal instinct that is nurturing and compassionate, but also fiercely protective of all that is vulnerable and sacred. Okay, so creation is just a different arrangement of something that already exists, you know. So I think that's where this is going. What can you show gratitude for? The peaceful sway of trees in the wind, or the sun's rays on a cold morning? Could the beauty in these moments inspire you to start a new project? Appreciation and connection to all that surrounds us also develops our sense of empathy. Do you feel the need to care for others? How can you support them? Start a creative project. Take advantage of your newly heightened creative energy. Ideas come more easily to you now. So I kind of wanted to lean more towards the creative words in that. So this is something about being creative. Even maybe letting all of this, you know, and then just arranging it and organizing it into something cool, something creative, something pretty. Interesting. There's a lot of yellows. that keep popping up. And another major arcana. Number 12. Ride the roller coaster that you're going through. Surrender, sacrifice, inactivity, waiting, acceptance. The hanged man finds himself upside down on a cross, apparently unconcerned about his seemingly precarious state. At first he struggled, but he quickly learned that this would just deplete his energy, so he let himself relax. With his new perspective, all the cares he had the day before seemed trivial. He also knows that this is the sacrifice he needs to make in order to achieve his goal. He is in the present, he is not in the past, and he is not in the future. This guy is in the moment, knowing that in the moment, the only thing that can help him is to relax and to watch and to accept what is happening. Although you have clear career goals, you realize you must take 2 steps backward to correct your course. What are you sacrificing? How does seeing the bigger picture shift your viewpoint of what you are giving up? Amen also represents the wisdom to know that when the time is right for something to happen, it will. I think that's important. Think of the larger goal, focus on the bigger picture, and the little sacrifices that you make to get there don't seem so bad. Know what you can't control. Achieving certain goals will depend on other people or external circumstances which are beyond your control. Try to focus instead on what you have power over. Perhaps it's time to look inward rather than outward. This talked about going inward as well. The Empress is definitely about inward creativity. Oof, this is one of my favorite cards, especially in the Thoth Tarot. The Queen of Swords of the Thoth Tarot is a super cool card. Look at that. It has a sword. Took control of her mind. Cut its head off. I'm in control. A person symbolized by this card should be intensely perceptive, a keen observer, a subtle interpreter, an intense individualist, swift and accurate at recording ideas, in action confident, in spirit gracious and just. This is good energy that would kind of make all of this creative energy go even faster. This card represents Crowley's sun sign, and so naturally it is the most intimidating card in the deck. One look at this lady and it tells us she means business. Water of air, suggestive of clouds that promise either life-giving rain or the threat of a torrential cloudburst. She holds the severed head of a bearded man in her left hand and the sword that probably did the job in her right hand. And this whole roller coaster is what brought the Queen of Swords to be. One may think this grisly touch is just another gruesome Crowleyism, but it is not. This image is the classic Golden Dawn description of the Queen of Swords and makes a fundamental Kabbalistic statement. The suit of swords represents Yetzirah, which is the formative world, the mind's eye of deity. Swords and Yetzirah's counterpart in the human soul is the Ruach, the intellect, which is centered in the brain, the human head. Using the sword of discretion and reason, the Queen has separated the higher faculties of the intellect from the influences of the lower nature, which is the Nefesh, the animal soul. She is quite literally, Crowley points out, the liberator of the mind. The head is that of a bearded man, the hermit of Virgo perhaps, the eyes closed peacefully, the face suggesting the trance of deep meditation. The influence of Virgo moving into Libra gives the Queen of Swords the practicality and grace of a great monarch. This native should be intensely perceptive, a keen observer, a subtle interpreter, an intense individualist, swift and accurate at recording ideas, in action confident, and spirit gracious and just. Her movements will be graceful and her ability in dancing and balancing exceptional. If ill dignified, she can be as cruel and dangerous as she looks. Crowley's fellow Queen of Swords include Mahatma Gandhi, Eleanor Roosevelt, H.G. Wells, and Stephen King. All pretty creative people, I must say. Nice, and we end with success. Wow, what a roller coaster ride, and you end up with success. Oof, what a reading video. This is the Six of Discs, Six of Pentacles, which is material stuff or your environment. Lord of material success. All things considered, things don't get any better than this in the pseudo-disc. The moon is exalted in Taurus and eminently happy to be there, as change is the moon's primary characteristic. However, we may not have much time to enjoy our success. On the other hand, Teferet as always comes to the rescue. It represents consciousness in its most harmonized and balanced form, definitely in form, not only an idea, as in the case of the number 2. In other words, the sun is an interpretation of the Father in terms of the mind. For this reason, it is interesting to compare this card with the Ace of Discs, because in every real sense, the Six of Discs is an interpretation of the Ace of Discs in terms of the mind. In this, the most earthy and material suit, 6 applies its noble and stable influence towards practical ends. It is a brief reward for the tireless, if somewhat mindless, hands-on labor of the entrepreneur. Basic image is that of the hexagram we find on the white section of the lower arm of the Hermetic Rose Cross, the sun surrounded by the other 6 planets of the ancients. Here the sun of Tiferet is represented by the rose of 49 petals, crucified upon a cross of 5 squares. This device, long associated with the sun in magical and Masonic symbolism, is surrounded by 3 concentric rings of golden yellow, salmon pink, and amber, which in some reproductions are hard to see. In tarot reading, this card acts somewhat like a Midas touch, bringing to neighboring cards the prospect of actually manifesting their qualities on the material plane. You're about to see the success, Leo. Alright, looks like 3 wanted to come out. Nice. That's never happened before, Leo. Oof. Oof. Number 24. About love. Love is here. What a beautiful proposal. What a beautiful couple. What a beautiful family. What a beautiful moment. Everything about this scene is beautiful. That is what love is. Beautiful. Love is what makes it all worth it in the end. All the pain, all the tears, all the struggle, all the darkness. It's all worth it when you find love. Yeah. Goodbye, Stink. There's some goodbyes. Clinging to the past. Interesting. Saying goodbye to the past. Goodbye, Stink. They can be very hard, but are also very necessary. Some things have to end for new things to begin. Life would be very boring if you did the same thing over and over again for all of eternity. Change brings about new growth. This is why change is good. Especially if Holly is waiting for you in Colorado, where your future children will also eventually be. There's an ending coming, and it's okay to feel sad. After you feel sad, start to get excited for what's to come. That follows along very nicely. Interesting, nice. Wow, look at that too. 24, 26, 25. It's all in order. It's all ready. It's Professor Copperfield's Miracle Legumes. Dwight goes from a thumbtack to a telescope. You're gonna go from this to this. He didn't have a bunch of money. He didn't have a bunch of fancy tools. He didn't even have fancy or expensive items to sell or trade. Dwight had a thumbtack. Do with what you have, and you will also get your telescope. You might even find yourself some magic beans.